Hello, everyone. You are welcome to today's lesson. And in today's lesson, we are going to have a very brief one. So I am going to quickly walk you through the solution to the assignment that was given in lesson 2 of relative maths, sequences, and series. In the lesson 2, you were given this assignment. This was the assignment. The sum of the first n terms of a sequence is 4n squared minus 5n. So it's given by this. We are to find the sum of the first n minus 1 terms of the sequence. Then B, find the first 3 terms of the sequence. So remember in that particular lesson, we basically looked at the relationship between U sub n and S sub n. So that if you know that relationship, if the question gives you S sub n, and you are asked to find particular terms, you can move from S sub n to U sub n using the relationship, to generate your U subs that you are asked to find. That is the particular terms. So that's just by the way, quickly. So let's look at how best you were to present your solution. As usual, I've gone through your work, your presentation, what you submitted. I have most of the major concerns in mind. I will address them. However, after that, if there are any outstanding issues, please don't hesitate to let me know. After watching this video, note it down. In our next meeting, lesson 3, we'll have a look at that before we move on to our main business for the day. I mean, in that lesson 3, in our next meeting. So quickly, once every question is given, if you want to write a question, fine. You can write a question. However, after writing the question, you shouldn't forget to write solution. Other than that, whatever you write there after the question, if you fail to write solution, will also be regarded as a question. So take note. So distinguish your question from what? Your solution by writing solution after you are done writing the question. That is one. Some of you fail to do that. So that's the more reason why I am talking about that. So after writing solution, here the assignment is not necessary. I have just put it there. If you want to put it there, fine. Then giving you extract. So this information here, we are told the sum of the first n terms. So the statements that we have here, sum of the first n terms, this is the notation for it. So S sub n is equal to what we have here. So the English, here, the math form is this, and the math has made it concise and precise. Now we come to A. We are asked to find the sum of of the first n minus 1 terms. So it means now, if you know, like I said in our lesson 2, if you know S sub n, just like function, once you know S sub n, you know S sub n minus 1. And please take note, those of you who didn't write your S sub n minus 1 well, you are using lines. So assuming maybe you have this, I am not using lines. You will usually write in lines. So if you are writing S sub, your sub can be small. So those of you wrote S sub n, then you wrote minus 1, the 1 being big. The meaning, remember in our previous lesson, I told you, that the meaning is different. So your n minus 1 must be small, or better still, your S, the sub can be below, the line. But usually in this situation, if you write it on top of the line, but very small, it is okay. In certain situation, log and what have you, get there. We prefer you write it below what's the line. But here on the line with its small, nature, it will be okay for us. I guess my point is well made. So write your notations well. So S sub n minus 1 means wherever I see n in S sub n, I put, n minus 1. They say to be 4 n minus 1, all squared. So my n here will represent that squared, and minus 5. My new n is n minus 1. Remember, I told you, anytime you are substituting, whether it is necessary to put it in brackets or not, put it in brackets at the point where you are carrying out your substitution. Put your new quantity that you are substituting in brackets. So that's exactly what I have done here. So spread. Now, anytime or in algebra, BODMAS, anytime you have power, deal with the power before you go and deal with any other operation. So here, n minus 1 squared, we know that will give us n squared minus 2n, then plus 1. So that will give us what we have here. And I said, if you can't do it mentally, use the identity to expand that. Go and do this as your rough work. N minus 1 squared, you know, is n minus 1 times n minus 1. Okay, which will give you your n squared minus n plus 1, which will give you n squared minus 2n. So this is your rough work. Oh, take note, plus 1. So now at this point, you know you can replace this one by what you have here. So you come and put it in brackets. Then you cancel this. This is your rough work. If you are matured, you can get this straight away without, okay, going through this. So at this point, you come and remove the bracket here. The bracket here was removed. So you had minus 5n, then plus what? 5. So those are some of you wrote 1 here. Minus 5 times minus 1 will not give you 1. So that's where your problem started. So M0, A0. If your S sub n minus 1 is wrong, okay, whatever you are going to do here equally will be wrong. So take your time and get it right. I guess my point is well taken. Okay, so in this case, you come and remove the last set of brackets here. You remove that, then after that, there will be like term to combine. Okay, 4n squared only, that's the only term in s squared. N terms, you have 2. Minus 8n minus 5n, that will give you minus 13n. Some of you, I think you treated one of them as positive or negative. So if you combine, you get a bigger negative value. Then plus 4 plus 5 will give you 9. Okay, someone ignored the 4 and wrote only the 5. Be very careful. Identify all your like terms before you start adding them. Please take notes. So this will be it for S sub n minus 1. I can see that therefore is here, so it means I've done my conclusion. If you didn't write therefore here, you are now coming to draw your conclusion. So please take note. Every question you must conclude. Some of you didn't conclude. And I told you when I was giving you the feedback that you have to always, okay, don't forget to conclude. Okay, so these are low-hanging marks, so don't lose them, please. Then B, okay, we are asked to find the first 3 terms. So it means I'm finding particular terms. For me to find a particular term, I need a general term formula, which is the U sub n. But unfortunately, I don't know the sequence for me to generate. Okay, it's determine the type and use it to generate the U sub n formula. But thankfully, fortunately, I have the S sub n, and I know the relationship between S sub n and U sub n. So I know that U sub n will be equal to S sub n minus, okay, S sub n minus 1. Okay, so in this case, I go and substitute S sub n, which is what was given. And again, I put this in bracket because of the advice that I gave you. I know that the brackets will not be necessary here, but we just want to be very protective of our marks. So now you put this in bracket, then minus, we are going to substitute for S sub n minus 1, 2. You put it in bracket, which is this. So now you come and remove the bracket here, which will give you what you have here. Remove the bracket here, which will give you this times this, which is this negative times this positive. So this will also give us negative times this negative. So now you've expanded, and always, usually, I should say, when you expand, okay, there will be like terms to combine. So check. So here 4n squared minus 4n squared. So your n squared terms will go. Then you have minus 5n plus 13n. So obviously the bigger number is positive. So if you combine, you get a positive result, which will be 8n. Then only one constant term, which is minus 9. You bring it there. And here you can't draw your conclusion because you are not asked to find U sub n. It's only a means to an end. Okay, you will need it. You are looking for it to find whatever you were asked directly to find. Okay, take notes. Okay, so it's now that you are going to find what you were asked directly to find. So you can write there for the first 3 terms will basically mean first term, you know, is denoted by U sub 1. So I know U sub 1, which is the first term, will be equal to 8, wherever I see. Once I know U sub n, wherever is I see n here, that will be 1. I know U sub 1. So I substitute, then come and simplify, which will give me this. And my second term is also represented by notation-wise, okay, U sub 2. So that would be equal to wherever I see, okay, n in U sub n, it is now 2. So that would give me 8 into 2 minus 9. You simplify, you get 7. And the last term, which is the third term, U sub 3, will be equal to this. You substitute, you simplify, you end up getting this. Okay, at this point, therefore, is here. So don't come and draw your conclusion again, because the therefore is affecting the U sub 1, U sub 2, and U sub 3. Take notes. And again, okay, just a quick one. I've told you anytime you are moving from a line to another line, write your equal to close to the margin. I know usually you want your equal tos to be in line. It's not necessary. Okay, now move it this way so that you create room here for your rough work. Assuming I wrote equal to here, okay, you can see that this room here would have been taken. So if I want to do this rough work, there wouldn't be any space for me to do my rough work. That's why I'm advising you, anytime you are moving from one line to the next line, okay, write close to the margin. You always start writing close to the margin. And again, avoid leaving spaces between your steps. Some of you did. Okay, please let that be your last time. You only leave a space, a line not attended to if you are moving from a sub question to another sub question. So that's why you can see space here. So indirectly, if I were using lines, okay, I would have left this line unattended to, then move on to the next line because I'm moving from a sub question to another sub question. So I'm not moving from a step to another step where I cannot leave, okay, spaces between them. Okay, so this then becomes, okay, the solution to the assignment and all the concern, the major ones that I remembered, I have factored that in, I have addressed that. However, like I said, if you have any pending issue, if there is anything that I underline, anything that I said that you couldn't relate, in our next meeting, we'll address that together. So thank you very much. God bless us all.